Hi you guys, it's me Chris and welcome back to the Doll Studio. So today I have a video for you guys that I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for the past couple of weeks because I've been hinting around the idea that I was going to be doing this for the longest time, and with the success of my video of Yvette and talking about the problems with her, I want to talk about someone else that I think actually deserves a little more heat, a little more fire, and who I find to be extremely annoying right now, considering the fact that she is quite literally taking up the spotlight of the Girl of the Year for this year. Yes, I am talking about Miss Kira Bailey. Of course, I just want to say that these are my personal opinions. You do not have to agree with me, but of course, be an adult in the comments down below. Be very mature about this. We can have a discussion about her, and of course, make sure you write down in the comments down below any opinions you may have about the doll. However, these are just my own personal opinions, so I just want to reiterate that, and that I am not trying to personally attack anyone for liking this doll. If you do, that's great. But for me, I just want to talk about this doll because for the past couple of months, she's actually been irking my soul, and I just need to vent about it for a little bit. So let's actually start from the beginning because I have a problem with the Girl of the Year line right now. I feel like a lot of people do, but they've kind of just accepted the fact that American Girl is doing the Girl of the Year line like this now. For those of you guys who do not know, back in the day, the Girl of the Year line, when the Girl of the Year came out, she was only available for a year. Now, I don't necessarily remember which Girl of the Year it was that started this trend of them staying for longer than they needed to. I think it was Gabriella. I think she stayed into Luciana's year, and then Luciana stayed for another 3 years, and then Blair, same thing, she stayed for 3 years until they finally retired her. And then now Joss, Kira, all the other girls, they just overstay their welcome, and I don't necessarily know why this happened. I do believe that American Girl didn't do such great sales with Gabriella and Luciana, so they had a lot of inventory to get rid of, and instead of just throwing them all to the benefit sale, they decided to just keep the dolls out for a lot longer because they usually put it in parentheses all the way at the bottom until supplies last. And I'm assuming that supplies were lasting for a pretty long time, and that's why Gabriella, Luciana, Tenny quite literally overstayed their welcome for longer than they needed to. I think that the whole reason that this happened was because American Girl, if they were going to make Tenny Grant the Girl of the Year, they should have just kept it the way that it was going to be, release Tenny, and then actually give us a Girl of the Year that is African American that got her time to shine. Like, everyone was already fully aware about the fact that Tenny was supposed to be the Girl of the Year, so at that point, why hide it? Why go out of your way to design another American Girl doll that is just a recycled Truly Me doll, not even put attention into her collection whatsoever? And then of course she's not going to sell well because people know what the jig is, and I feel like that's what the problem was with that entire year. Think about it. When you really think about that year, there were so many dolls for you to choose from all at once. You had Tenny, you had Logan, you had Gabriella, you had Z, and it's just like at that point, that's so many dolls being released within the same year. Also, I'm pretty sure this is around the same time that Linnea was going to be released. So why add Gabriella into that mix if you know she's just going to be thrown at the bottom of the barrel and no one's going to be purchasing her because of the fact that you can tell they didn't really put much thought into her collection. Her bed was quite literally McKenna's bed, and then a lot of her other items were just recycled pieces from other people's collection. You guys gave us a piece of cardboard and like a dance bar and said, here's your Girl of the Year, and we were just supposed to accept that. Like, people may be mad at me for saying that, but I would have rather they have taken their time and given us a Girl of the Year that was well thought out, well designed, that wasn't just a recycled Truly Me doll. Like, Tenny had a stage, like you could tell that she was so thought out. And then I'm pretty sure this is also the year that Felicity came back, Linnea was dropped that year, Perma Panties happened, the white back eyes happened. I don't know what American Girl was going through in that year, but somewhere in the commotion of that year, somewhere, somehow, they just decided that the Girl of the Years were no longer going to be available for just a year, and that they were just going to start allowing them to stay for longer than they need to. And in the following years, that was just a pattern that kept happening, and I don't know why they still think that this is okay, but it's called the Girl of the Year line because they're only supposed to be here for a year. As a collector, it has been so frustrating to me that they just keep these dolls out for longer than they need to. I understand that people say like, oh, but then that gives people more of an opportunity to get them. And I'm like, no sis, that's not the point. That's the whole point of them is for them to be limited edition. That's what makes them so special. special. The fact that for a year, you know that they're only here for a year, so you have to be quick and get them while they're available for that year. You know that they're special because they're only here for so long. And that's what makes you want to cherish them. That's what makes you want to enjoy them throughout the year, is you want to cherish the time that you have with them for that year. You just want to celebrate the girl of the year. However, in recent years, why am I celebrating Kira's release if homegirl Luciana and Blair and Joss are all still here? Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know, maybe that's just the collector in me, but I don't like the fact that they stay here for longer than they need to. How does this correlate with Kira? Well, because of the fact that she's been here for longer than she needs to. However, let's just talk about when she initially released first before I get into the whole World by Us thing. When Kira released and I saw the leaks of her, I thought it was a joke. I was like, there's no way that American Girl saw the stuff that happened with Gabriella and are gonna be okay with releasing a Julie 2.0. Like, to me, I was so flabbergasted that they created another Julie and that they presented it to us and said, here's your girl of the year. She's Australian. She goes to Australia. And we were just like, this is Julie. What are you actually doing? Now, there have been some rumors going around that Julie is being retired. And if that's true, then you know what? Smart move for American Girl, because they created another doll that is a hybrid of their best-selling doll, Julie, and then add her into another line so that way she can stay here and basically take over the reign that Julie had of being American Girl's bestseller. Because to be honest, right now I can see why people don't want to get Kira, and it's because Julie's right there, or why people don't want to get Julie, it's because Kira's right there. So I feel like they just did a, I don't want to say better version of Julie, because I know a lot of people love Julie, but basically they created a safety net for Julie by creating a doll that looks almost identical to her, so that way they know if they retire Julie, sales really won't rock that hard, because there is another version of her that is still being offered, and that is Kira. If that's the case, yes, smart tactic, good for you, I'm glad. However, if that's not the case, what were you thinking? I also have a conspiracy theory that Corona also played into this, because I feel like since no one was allowed to go into office, I'm assuming at American Girl headquarters, they just needed to release a girl of the year that was a safe bet, that they knew was gonna sell because it had all the right components. From what I see, she does sell well, and from what I hear, a lot of people have her, and people that are just getting into American Girl dolls are buying her because she is a really pretty doll. Of course, she's Julie, so it doesn't surprise me that American Girl is adding her into the World by Us line. It's annoying, but she's selling well enough that I think that they thought that this was definitely a safe bet. So on my Instagram, I asked people what their specific problems were with Kira, and a lot of people had the same general consensus, which is the fact that she is Julie 2.0. Her entire collection is just the most basic thing that American Girl could create, and for some reason they keep pushing these pets, and all it's doing is cheapening the brand in my eyes. To be honest, it feels like American Girl is quite literally losing touch with who they are and Pleasant Roland's entire idea behind the brand. I'm getting off topic and talking about the new releases with all the ridiculous amount of pets that they just released, the big ones and the smaller versions. I understand that kids are buying them these days, but also like it's far too much all at once, and it's really disheartening to me that they decided to put all their time and effort into this when they should have been putting all their time and energy and effort into the historical dolls. Now, my next problem with Kira specifically is the fact that she is being added into the World by Us line, and when people were talking about it, I was like, why would they add Kira into the World by Us line? It makes absolutely no sense. She is over her time as the girl of the year, so she shouldn't really even be here anyway. But on top of that, it is the first year that we have gotten some sort of representation of a doll of color. Why they decided to overshadow the current girl of the year, especially after making so many remarks during the Black Lives Matter movement that they were going to do better about their diversity. Why would you go out of your way to do that? People are wondering why Corinne isn't selling well, and it's like, well, because American Girl isn't pushing her. And that's what's so infuriating, is that it feels like American Girl is going out of their way to sabotage our doll of color, so that way they have an excuse of, oh, she doesn't actually really sell well, so that's why we're not doing another doll of color for another 3 years. Like, I feel like that's their main tactic right now, is that they're doing these things on purpose, so that way they have that excuse of doll of colors don't sell well, which is why we don't make them. So for me, them releasing this new outfit for Kira is just very tone deaf. And if they're gonna be keeping her for longer than her year, they could have at least waited until Corinne's year was over. But no, they decided to add Kira midway through, Corinne being the girl of the year, and that's just what's really upsetting about all of this. Anyway, moving forward, I just feel like American Girl should have added Corinne into the World by Us line. It just makes more sense for Corinne to be added into the World by Us line, and Kira really doesn't have a place in the World by Us line. In Corinne's stories, she quite literally deals with racism, and in the books, I'm almost 100% sure that someone calls her the Kung Flu, which is referring to obviously COVID-19 and all of the stereotypes that were placed upon Asian American people during the pandemic. Like, her story fits perfectly in what World by Us is trying to do, and Kira being added into that is kind of negating that and not allowing it to fully live up to its potential of what American Girl was trying to do. Moral of story is that Kira should not be in the World by Us line. I'm infuriated by this, and I know that Corinne has more releases coming in the future for the summer. Her little brother's gonna come out, and then her new outfit. But at the end of the day, American Girl has decided that they would rather immortalize and keep a doll past the Girl of the Year with Kira, and they should have done it with Corinne instead, because Corinne fits with the World by Us line. Like, that's what her entire story is. Like, it fits perfectly with it. And after reading the 3 books that the other girls have for the World by Us line, I think that Corinne's books and Corinne's story are a perfect way to fit into the World by Us line. And it's upsetting that American Girl just either didn't think that through, or they just decided to stick to what they know and decided to keep it the way that it is. As of right now, I'm not surprised that Kira is selling better than Corinne from what I've heard, and that Corinne's sales have dropped a lot since the beginning of the year. And of course, that's because American Girl is peddling Kira left and right nowadays with these stop motions of her. I know that they did the series with Corinne, but at the end of the day, they should really be peddling her the whole year and not taking time for the Girl of the Year that already passed. So that's just it. That's my 2 thoughts on it. I for sure can get into her collection and talk about how I don't find it to be very fun, how her camp hangout big ticket item is quite literally just the camp hangout set from the Truly Me line. Like, there's a lot of other different problems with this doll, but my biggest ones are the World by Us problem and the fact that she is just Julie 2.0. So I hope in the future American Girl learns from this. I hope that we as a community call American Girl out on these things and basically say, hey, you need to stop creating such basic dolls, because I personally believe that if they didn't do the World by Us line, I would have been so okay with McKenna being a Girl of the Year. I would have been okay with Yvette being a Girl of the Year, and I would have been totally okay with Maritza being a Girl of the Year, because they all are what we want as a community, this diverse group of girls. And right now American Girl has been plateauing, and they did literally Blair into Joss into Kira, and now they're doing Corinne, yes, but they're trying to outshine her with one of their previous Caucasian dolls, and that just to me does not sit well with me. So yes, okay, you guys, I'm done with my rant. That is it for today. I just needed to have this conversation with you guys because I have so many feelings on Kira, and seeing her in the World by Us line and seeing her at the store with the World by Us girls actually infuriates me, because Corinne should be there, but that's neither here nor there. I hope that American Girl retires Kira at one point, or that they end up keeping Corinne for a lot longer. And if they're going to keep the Girl of the Years out for a lot longer, then I hope Corinne spends a really long time here, and I hope that they make new stuff for her even next year like they are with Kira. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please comment down below and let me know if you guys agree with some of the things I said, or if you guys disagree with some of the things I said. I'm completely open to the conversation. I would love to hear about your own thoughts in the comments down below. Make sure you guys follow me on my Instagram, which is at the Doll Studio by Chris. Make sure you guys subscribe to my channel. My name is Chris. I put out new videos every weekend. And of course, like and comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.